2007 wasn't just another year in wrestling, it was the year that changed everything for WWE. A year of tragedy, rebirth, and transformation, from shocking events that shook the entire industry, to WrestleMania moments that broke records, to the rise of future legends. 2007 became a turning point that defined the company's future. This is the story of WWE's most transformative year, wrestling's darkest chapter, the Benoit tragedy. On June 24, 2007, WWE faced the darkest moment in its history. Chris Benoit, one of the most respected technical wrestlers of all time, committed an unthinkable act: the murder of his wife Nancy, his son Daniel, and finally himself. The wrestling world was left stunned. For fans, Benoit had been a hero inside the ring, but that weekend revealed a horrific reality that forced WWE and the entire industry to confront the hidden cost of professional wrestling. The impact was immediate. Mainstream media turned its spotlight on WWE, raising questions about steroid use, concussions, and the relentless schedule wrestlers endured. WWE responded by overhauling its wellness policy with stricter drug testing, cardiovascular checks, and concussion protocols. Benoit's brain revealed severe CTE, drawing worldwide attention to head trauma and its long-term consequences. In the aftermath, WWE began shifting away from its edgier product, laying the foundation for a more family-friendly PG direction. And perhaps most controversially, WWE erased Benoit's name from its history, a move that divided fans, but symbolized the company's attempt to distance itself from his legacy. This tragedy didn't just scar WWE, it forced wrestling itself to evolve. The beginning of the PG era. The fallout from Benoit's death aligned with a larger cultural shift. WWE began toning down the violence, blood, and explicit content that had defined the Attitude Era. By 2007, the seeds of the PG era were already being planted. Storylines became simpler, matches were safer. The product was reshaped to appeal to kids, families, and corporate sponsors. The results were undeniable. Business partnerships with Mattel and other global brands flourished. WWE expanded its mainstream reach, but hardcore fans weren't happy. Many accused the product of losing its edge, becoming too sanitized, too predictable. Love it or hate it, the PG era was born in the wake of 2007, the collapse of WWE's ECW. Another major shift came with the decline of WWE's ECW brand. Launched in 2006 with the promise of reviving extreme wrestling, it quickly lost its identity. By 2007, storylines were watered down. Characters like the Zombie turned the brand into a parody of itself. Hardcore fans abandoned it, disappointed that this ECW shared nothing with the original. By the end of the year, ECW was reduced to a developmental platform, but from its ashes, WWE would build something revolutionary: NXT. The rise of NXT's foundations. The failure of ECW opened WWE's eyes to the need for a real developmental system. In its place, WWE laid the groundwork for what would become NXT. Within a few years, that system would produce stars like Seth Rollins, Sasha Banks, and Bray Wyatt, talents who reshaped WWE's future. The seeds of NXT were planted in 2007. The injury crisis 2007 also tested WWE's resilience in another way. An injury crisis. John Cena tore his pectoral muscle. Edge suffered the same fate. Even The Undertaker was sidelined. Suddenly, WWE's biggest names were gone. The response? Mid-card stars like Jeff Hardy, CM Punk, and MVP were pushed into the spotlight. Randy Orton seized the opportunity, stepping into the role of top heel. And WWE realized it needed a stronger talent pipeline, which fueled the rise of Florida Championship Wrestling, the precursor to NXT. Out of crisis came opportunity, and future legends began to emerge. The Age of Orton 2007 marked the true rise of Randy Orton. Once the brash legend killer, Orton evolved into a cold, calculated champion. At No Mercy, he captured the WWE Championship, cementing himself as the company's top heel. Feuds with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Jeff Hardy made Orton the centerpiece of WWE programming. The so-called Age of Orton had begun, and it would last for years. The Undertaker's legendary run for The Undertaker 2007 was a career-defining year. He won the Royal Rumble from the number 30 spot, becoming the first man in history to do it. At WrestleMania 23, he defeated Batista in a classic to extend his undefeated streak, and his feud with Edge began, setting up one of the greatest rivalries of the late 2000s. Even after decades in the ring, the Dead Man proved he could still reinvent himself and dominate the main event scene. WrestleMania 23, a record-breaking show. If one night symbolized WWE's cultural dominance in 2007, it was WrestleMania 23. Held at Ford Field in Detroit, the event drew over 80,000 fans and shattered records with $5.38 million in ticket sales. Over 1.2 million people bought the pay-per-view. Highlights included John Cena versus Shawn Michaels in a generational clash for the WWE Championship, The Undertaker versus Batista, a battle of power and endurance, and the unforgettable Battle of the Billionaires, Vince McMahon versus Donald Trump, with Bobby Lashley and Umaga representing them, capped by the iconic head shaving of Mr. McMahon. This event wasn't just wrestling, it was pop culture. WE goes global and digital. Beyond the ring, 2007 was also about expansion. WWE ramped up international tours, bringing shows to Europe, Asia, and Australia. Pay-per-view distribution grew, making WWE a truly global brand. Online, WWE revamped its website, embraced early social media like MySpace and YouTube, and experimented with mobile content. The digital era of WWE was beginning, and 2007 was the launchpad. Conclusion: a year that changed everything. 2007 was a year of contrasts, a year of tragedy and triumph, of endings and new beginnings. From the heartbreak of the Benoit tragedy to the spectacle of WrestleMania 23, from the collapse of ECW to the birth of NXT, from Cena's injury to Orton's rise, this was the year that forced WWE to change, adapt, and survive. And in many ways, it was the year that shaped the WWE we know today. So here's the question for you. Was 2007 the most important year in WWE history? Or do you think another year changed the company even more? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more deep dives into wrestling's most unforgettable moments.